Brian Terrian here from the Disability Digest with an updated video all about what I call the best kept secret for local disability assistance. Regardless if you're trying to get your Social Security disability benefits approved or if you're already approved, I expect there's resources that are right in your backyard that you have access to that you don't know about. And that's what I'm in hopes that this video will help you understand how to access them. So what we're going to discuss today is your local Center for Independent Living. They exist in just about every nook and cranny, small town in the United States, and I'm going to show you how to find your local one. And what they provide for assistance is on the left-hand side of my screen. These are the 8 common areas of assistance, treatment options, food and financial assistance, could be for utilities, fuel, stuff like that. Free legal aid, housing is a big resource, transportation, advocacy, support groups, etc. So that's what we're going to talk about. And then, of course, at the end of this, and wherever you're watching this video, there will either be the words, click here to find your local center, or a green button that you can click to get started. But before you leave the video now, stay tuned so you know what to do when you click the button or go on to the next step. The first thing is a plan. These organizations are funded, government funded. Most of them are 51% run by disability recipients. And they provide great services and they're free, but they're super busy. So the best results that we have found with our members here at the Disability Digest is to, 1, do your research. And then 2, have a plan of action to approach them. And it's going to separate you from everybody else out there. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. So don't just go call and say, hey, I'm in the area, I'm wondering what you got. Well, you can, but that hasn't proven to be successful. So let's get on with the show. I'll show you how it works. Once you click the green button or on the words that say click here to find your local center, you will be directed to a map that looks like this. And on this page, there's several different things that you can check out in addition to this. You can go over to the home feature and learn more about how these organizations are set up and resources. I'm not going to cover that in this video because you can do that on your own. But what I am going to show you is how to find your local Center for Independent Living. I reside in the great state of Vermont, so I'll use this as an example, and because we're rural here, but if you look at how it's laid out in the state of 636,000 people, there's a center in just about every area here in Vermont. And then when you look at the map, I'm in this Burlington area right here, you scroll down and then well, actually, I back up. If you hover over it and click on it, you'll find out what the name is of the local center. Vermont Center for Independent Living, Burlington. And then, once you have the name, you can go down into the directory. So this first one is in another city, but the second one matches exactly what the title is. And you can go and click on their website link. Oftentimes they have Facebook pages, and you can learn about the services that they have. So this being the first example, I already have the website open. As part of your research, come in and find out what they offer and what is applicable to you. And here is a list of some of the services that they have and the resources that they provide. And I'm not going to read them all off, but this one actually is unique because they have the Meals on Wheels feature. They're also linked to Catholic Charities in Vermont. And they have a program for women of domestic violence. They have some unique services at this one. So point is not all of the Centers for Independent Living are going to have the exact same resources. They have a core set of resources and then others. So that's how you find out what is available in your area. It's just come on in and look at the website and do that. Now back here you'll see that there's great contact information oftentimes the director will post their email address, but this just has a general email address here. So this is one example. I'm going to go and show you another one. Here, I'm going to go down to North Carolina, and North Carolina, I'm going to select the Charlotte one, Disability Rights and Resources. And then when we come down here to Disability Rights and Resources, you'll see the difference here is the director has their email address in, and the website is right here. And I already have the website open as an example. And here's Disability Rights and Resources. If you hover over the Services tab, you will see what they have to offer. Okay, so that's the second way. Now, this is the last example I have. This is Daytona Beach, Florida, and this one has cooking classes, which is, I found that was kind of interesting. So again, they all have different resources that are available. Now, a few tips for you. People commonly use, from our audience here, the Centers for Independent Living, for low cost, no cost treatment options, especially if you are not insured and you're trying to get your disability benefits approved. These organizations don't provide direct treatment, but they know clinics or organizations that you could go to, or hospitals in your area that would have programs for you based on your situation. So that's one of the key ones. And then the other common one that people use the centers for is housing. And housing is just a difficult situation in general because there's very low inventory. But here's a few tips that have worked. Is before you approach your local center is to have a housing plan in place. Just a simple 5-step plan that covers like what your budget is, like how much can you afford to spend, where would you like to live, where do you not want to live, right? And consider transportation, surrounding resources, all of that. What floor could you deal with living on? I mean, are you able to get up 3 flights of stairs and live on the 3rd floor with a place with no elevator? Then great. But if you're not, make sure you specify that I need to be on the 1st floor and I need to have ramp access, and so that's the other one. The configuration: studio, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom. What is it that you're looking for? The last tip I have on the housing plan is what requirements do you need in the in your apartment or home or where you're going to live? Do you need any accessibility requirements to be met? So those are tips. I'd suggest that you have these in writing, just a little simple plan. You can even send it over like others have in advance, because oftentimes you have the email address for the director. And then follow up and say, I sent over my housing plan. I'd really like to speak to a housing counselor about what it is that, what my options are for living in this area. Couple others I just want to touch on is legal aid. Oftentimes people have benefit related situations, or they've had discrimination related issues that they need assistance with legally. Most of these organizations have a free legal aid. Again, have a plan in place, contact them so that you can get the best return on your time invested with this. So those are some of the highlights. Again, do your research, create a plan, and then give them a call and contact them. Love to hear your feedback on this. Definitely, if you have additional tips in working with your local center that we can revise and get out to our audience, that would be fantastic. And if you're looking to contact your local center, just look around this video somewhere. If there's not a green button and you're not watching it on a web page, then look for the words, click here to find your local center. So I hope you find this helpful. Make it a great day. This has been Brian Tarian from the Disability Digest. Thanks.